Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you this afternoon time for this next movie review. I hope you will enjoy this Venom: The Last Dance 2024 film. I got a chance to check out for myself, see what I was going to think of this sequel to Venom: Let There Be Carnage, which was the last movie. So I'm going to discuss what I watched for this hour and 49-minute movie, Venom: The Last Dance, and let you know my thoughts on this movie overall. So let's dive into this movie review. Tom Hardy plays as Eddie Brock once again, and I don't know if this is technically the last film, but from what I gathered, it's leading into I think there's a post-credit scene that really is interesting that I really did kind of dig. But overall, I think the movie's fairly decent. It's not one of the best Venom movies. I think it's good in its own way. It has its good moments, and there's some funny moments from time to time. The ending's kind of like you knew what you were going to expect with the ending, where a certain special someone sacrifices themselves to save that person. So, I can't spoil what happens at the end, but I can tell you for sure that it is an average film. It's not terrible. I mean, granted, there's a few critiques I have with the pacing, and it is a little fast paced for what it went for, and a little rushed of a film. Like, for the runtime I watched it for, it said an hour and 35 minutes, but I think it was like an hour and 49 minutes or so. I don't know if there was another post-credit scene or not, but it just cut off at an hour and 35 minutes and 19 seconds. So that's where I got to watch it at. But other than that, I think the film's not bad. It's a little weaker than Let There Be Carnage, but it's not terrible in any way. I mean, some of these Venom films are kind of mediocre to iffy. So it just depends on how the story and the script is and the dialogue. Like, the final product's not bad, but it was quite rushed, this film. It was just throws you in there and doesn't hold anything back with what it's offering. I mean, there's a few critiques with some of the story that I had an issue with, but it's overall, I think Tom Hardy's performance as Venom Eddie Brock again. Um, his performance was good. This movie's basically about this certain net Venomorph or whatever they're called. That's coming from a different galaxy or a different universe, and that's getting drawn to Earth and trying to take the symbiotes away so they can release some kind of plague, dark plague on Earth itself. And it shows that certain someone there's a thing called the Codex that has to be in order for the Venom and Eddie Brock to kind of escape those kind of Venomorphs or whatever they're called. They basically have to, or Xenomorph or whatever it's called. I honestly can't remember what it's called, but from what I gathered, it's those weird creature-looking monsters or whatever. Alien, creepy monsters. So, with tails on them. So, basically, I think the movie's average. It's not one of my favorites, but it's not a bad film. It just was very rushed, for sure, for the runtime it went for. It was pretty short, too, of a film. So, if I were to give Venom: The Last Dance a score, I'm going to give it a solid rating of a 7.5 out of 10. It's average. It's not one of the best films I've seen of 2024, but it tried. It at least tried to impress me. So I'll give it props where it's due there. But other than that, I think the film could have used a little more work, but story-wise, it's not terrible. It's just the pacing was the thing. Some of the Venom movies, you like see them for a time and then you kind of forget about them after a while. After revisiting the movies, you're like, they were kind of iffy to mediocre films. So they're not terrible. They're just one of those films you watch a few times and then you kind of forget about it months down the road. But other than that, Tom Hardy's performance was pretty good, and I did enjoy how the ending was. So, 7.5 out of 10 for Venom The Last Dance. I hope you enjoyed this movie review this afternoon, and thank you guys for watching this movie review. I'll have more movie reviews coming out as soon as I can. Conclave, I think, is the next movie, and then Magpie. And then I'll move on to some of the November 1st movies in the next few days or so. But until then, thanks for watching Venom The Last Dance movie review this afternoon, and I'll see you in my next review.